And now the scherzo, the third movement, described by Beethoven as lustiges Zusammen, a merry coming together of der Landleute, the country people. And the festive sounds begin very softly, as if from a distance, in unison and octave strings, lightly. And notice how Beethoven repeats this measure. We're in F major, obviously, and he uses these three notes to subtly shift into D major, which he marks dolce, gently, sweetly. It's the second half of the theme, and it's serene and ethereal, almost like the pastoral music of Rameau we've been hearing. And the music continues very delicately, tiptoeing through the fields in D major and then in C major. And finally, a crescendo, and the main theme returns, full volume in the tonic F major, all unison and octaves. It's very bracing. And that single measure that we talked about is now played 4 times, leading to a new phrase, still in octaves, which at just the right moment breaks out into gorgeous harmony. There it is, the subdominant chord. Yes, a familiar hymn-like progression, even in this lustiges, merry, lusty music. And for me, the music turns on that single subdominant chord. And I don't think I'm overreacting. That big unison tune breaking into harmony with that prominent chord, it was very important, I believe, on some level to Beethoven. And it leads to that brilliant, robust horn fanfare. Again, it's simple tonic dominant harmony. Clearly, it's related to the third measure from the opening. And darting all around the horn calls are violin and viola arpeggios launching upward. And now the scherzo's second major section, and the horn fanfare motive now becomes the accompaniment to a sprightly dance. And you remember in the scherzo of Beethoven's first symphony, also in a quick triple time, how the melody at one point was missing the strong downbeats. Well, he does it again here in this new dance section. The accompaniment is here, and a jolly oboe solo. Four bars of a rather tricky rhythm with no downbeat, which then smooths out into a clear waltz-like rhythm, with a rustic bassoon providing the occasional bass line. The clarinet then takes over the tune in the dominant key of C major, and the dance is now in the two bassoons. Then a solo French horn takes us back into F major. And now Beethoven extends the dance using the waltz-like phrase in the low strings, which then takes off and becomes very rugged, depositing us directly into the central trio section, which incidentally is in the subdominant key of B flat major. Now here is the entire opening scherzo up to the trio, and I'll call it all out as it occurs. Here's the main theme in F major. It moves to D major, very serene. It repeats in F major, and again in D major. And now we stay in D and move to C major. And now a crescendo, back to F major. And the main theme in octaves, now in full harmony. And here's that subdominant chord here. And horn fanfares to close this first section. And now the horn calls become a dance. Here's the second section with the oboe theme. And the bassoon for the bass. It repeats softly. The clarinet answers. Now in C major, clarinets and bassoons. And back to F major, solo French horn. And the woodwinds begin a dialogue with the horn. Now an extension. Now the theme is in the low strings. It now takes off directly into the trio. And this very rugged dance tune is played by all the violins in unison in their low register, where they can really dig in. And it's vigorous, it's almost raucous in character, unlike the standard trios of most classical minuets or scherzos, which are usually gentle. And now back to the tonic key, F major, and the dance is now in the violas and bassoons. With a new violin obbligato. And now we have the tune in the dominant key of C major, with the cello and bass adding in. Leading directly into this. And a final fading trumpet signal. Now Beethoven calls for a literal repeat of the scherzo and the trio from the beginning of the movement. And you recall how in the Fifth Symphony scherzo, Beethoven brilliantly recomposed the scherzo the second time through instead of just repeating it from the top. But here in the Sixth, the repeat is literal from the beginning. Thus we end up with a 5-part structure: scherzo, trio, and now the final return of the scherzo, which is brief. And again, it's very soft. And it shifts again into D major. But now it immediately moves back into F major. I'll play it slowly. This is really quite astounding. Quite an unexpected modulation, and it happens very quickly. Listen how it works in the orchestra and at the proper tempo. And now things really kick into high gear, again in bold octaves, racing ahead for a final joyous chorale progression. And more lusty horn calls.